Heavenly Father, Lord, I just come before you tonight, and I just want to thank you for the opportunity to get to speak. I ask, God, that you would just be with my words, have them be exactly what you would have for me to say. And Lord, I pray, God, that you would open the hearts of the people that are here tonight and help us to just be able to learn out of your word. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, this is not going to work. My Bible's too heavy. If you do not have a Bible, go and get one right now, please, because you will need it. Like I said, I'm going to need your help a lot. Light. Are we good? Everybody have a Bible?
Not yet.
You have one? Okay. Esther 3 is where you need to be. Can somebody tell me what happened last week? Anybody remember? Besides Jenny?
Oh, I do.
Yes.
Is this something about how like a bunch of people went and got like the super hottest girls on the planet or something like that?
Oh, I know this one.
Super hottest girl. Okay. Yes.
It's what we've learned so far, right?
Right.
Okay.
We're recapping
One or two?
last week.
Last week.
Two.
Okay, so we figure out who Esther is and who her family is, and they're a bunch of Jews, and she is considered one of the beautiful ones, so she goes to the palace and they do like a lot of beauty training, and then they are given whatever they want to take, and she only takes the advice of that one person and goes to the king, and like everybody loves her, and the king chooses her and makes her queen.
Makes her queen. Okay, good job. All right, so we're going to read over it. Chapter 3 is just 15 verses, so we're going to read over it as a whole, and then we're going to break it out. So we'll popcorn. Who wants to start? I can't remember. Wait, what's your name? I can't remember. Yeah. Kat. I was going to call you Natalie for some reason. I'm sorry.
First, where are we at?
Esther, chapter 3,
Right at the beginning?
verse 1. So everybody, talk loud so everybody can hear you. So when you popcorn.
Chapter 3.
Yep.
Can you say the names first? Because there's
King.
a bunch of big names in the very beginning.
King
Xerxes. Hammond.
Mine.
Hamadatha.
the Agite.
Ahasuerus.
Hamadatha.
Okay.
Agagite.
Haman.
Mordecai. Agagite.
It's okay, just own it. However you say it is fine.
After these things, King Xerxes promoted Haman the the son of Hammedatha, and advanced him to set his throne above all the officials who were with him. And the king's servants who were at the king's gate bowed down and paid homage to Haman, for the king had so commanded concerning him. But Mordecai did not bow down or pay homage. The king's servants who were at the king's gate said to Mordecai, "Why do you transgress the king's command?" And when they spoke to him day after day, he would not listen to them. They told him in order to see whether Mordecai's words would stand, for he had told them that he was a Jew.
Just whenever you're done, just shout out somebody's name.
Let's read. Okay, Kyler. I don't know. Just read like one word.
5.
When Haman saw that Mordecai would not kneel down to pay him honor, he was enraged. Yet having learned who Mordecai's people were, he scorned the idea of killing only Mordecai. Instead, Haman looked for a way to destroy all Mordecai's people, the Jews, throughout the whole kingdom of Xerxes. In the 12th year of King Xerxes, in the 4th month, the month of was cast in the presence of Haman to select a day and month. And the lot fell on the 12th month, the month of Adar. No, Maddie.
Then Haman said to King Xerxes, "There's a certain people dispersed among the people." Wait, I found them. There's a certain people dispersed among the peoples in all the provinces of your kingdom who keep themselves separate. Their customs are different from those of all the people, and they do not obey the king's laws. It is not the king's best interest to tolerate them. If it pleases the king, let a decree be issued to destroy them. And I will give 10,000 talents of silver to the king's administrators for the royal treasury. So the king took his signet ring from his finger and gave it to Haman, son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, the enemy of Jews. Keep the money, the king said to Haman, and do with the people as you please. Clayton.
On the 15th day of the first month, the royal secretaries were summoned.
Talk louder.
They wrote out in the script of each province and in the language of each people all Haman's orders to the king's satraps, the governors of the various provinces, and the nobles of the various peoples. These were written in the name of King Xerxes himself and sealed with his own ring. Dispatches were sent by couriers to all the king's provinces with the order to destroy, kill, and annihilate all the Jews, young and old, women and children, on a single day, the 13th day of the 12th month, the month of Adar, and he plundered their goods. Popcorn, Tyler.
A copy of the text of the etiquette, very good. A copy to the text of the
Edict.
was to be issued in law of every province and made known to the people of every nationality, so that they would be ready for that day. The couriers went out, spurred on the king's command, and the edict was issued from the sentinel of Susa. The king and Haman sat down to drink, but the city of Susa was
Bewildered.
bewildered.
Okay, so we just read through it, but can anybody shout out some things that they found from the text to be interesting?
We found the bad guy.
Found the bad guy. His name is Haman. Like the Holocaust. Good to pointed that out.
It's just Hitler, but earlier.
Right? Okay, anybody else?
This is the original Holocaust. That feels really good.
All right. Those are great things that you guys pointed out. Now we're going to break it down. Who wants to read Esther 1 through 3?
Oh,
Like
Just 1 through 3.
the verses?
Like Esther 1, like
I mean, what did I say? I'm sorry, 1 through 3. 3, 1 through 3.
3, 1 through 3?
3, 1 through 3. Now we're going to break it down.
Okay, let me go to the top. Okay. Sometime later, King Xerxes promoted Haman, son of Hammedatha the Agagite, over all the other nobles, making him the most powerful official in the empire. All of the king's officials would bow down before Haman to show him respect whenever he passed by, for so the king had commanded. But Mordecai refused to bow down or show him respect. Then the palace officials at the king's gate asked Mordecai why he disobeyed the king's command.
Okay, so here we have the Jews and the Amalekites. They hated each other. They were rivals, like KU and K-State. I mean, like, but on like steroids, okay? So they were like arch enemies, right? So they've been, Mordecai is a royal officer. So it's not like he was just it's not like he was just some guy off the street. So he knew Haman, and he knew Haman well. He probably also knew that Haman was a Amalekite, and they hate each other. But just because he hated him doesn't mean that he couldn't be respectful, which he was respectful, except for he didn't do what? He didn't bow down. He didn't start a riot, and he didn't start an uproar, but he didn't bow down, right? So, I wonder, having known who Haman was, if he knew. Have you ever sensed someone was evil? Like, have you ever been around somebody and you just get evil vibes from them?
Yes.
Okay, we'll talk about it later, so just put that person in the back of your head, okay? So maybe he sensed that he was evil. So what drew attention to Mordecai? He did not bow. But he, like I said earlier, he didn't slander him to his peers. This parallels something else. I want somebody to read Genesis 39, 2 through 10. And we kind of talked about this, I think, Sunday. Did we talk about Joseph Sunday?
I got it.
Okay.
The Lord was with Joseph so that he prospered, and he lived in the house of his Egyptian master. When his master saw that the Lord was with him and that the Lord gave him success in everything he did, Joseph found favor in his eyes and became his attendant. Potiphar put him in charge of his household, and he entrusted to his care everything he owned. From the time he put him in charge of his household and all that he owned, the Lord blessed the household of the Egyptian because of Joseph. The blessing of the Lord was on everything Potiphar had, both in the house and in the field. So Potiphar left everything he had in Joseph's care. With Joseph in charge, he did not concern himself with anything except the food he ate. Now Joseph was well built and handsome, and after a while his master's wife took notice of Joseph and said, "Come to bed with me." But he refused. "With me in charge," he told her, "the master does not concern himself with anything in the house. Everything he owns he entrusted to my care. No one is greater in this house than I am. My master has withheld nothing from me except you, because you are his wife. How then could I do such a wicked thing and sin against God?" And though she spoke to Joseph day after day, he refused to go to bed with her or even be with her.
Okay. So we have two guys that are put in two different situations. One was sexual gratification. One is not bowing down to save your own life. And they didn't bow down. They didn't fall to their temptations. So, how do you think they did it? Through God. Okay. They believed in God. Okay. What?
Self-control.
Self-control. Anybody else? I went to a conference a couple weeks ago, and it talks about your feelings don't have intellect. So, but a lot of times we give our feelings intellect. We let them rule over us. And so I think it's a lot of self-control. They knew not to let their mood or their temptation get the best of them. Joseph and Mordecai made up their minds that they were stronger than their feelings. Can someone read Colossians 3:2? Colossians, go eat peaches and cream. Colossians, Ephesians, Philippians.
3:2.
Did I say Colossians at first? I meant Galatians.
3:2.
3:2. You got it?
Got it.
Say it.
Set your mind on things above, not on things on the earth.
Okay. So what are we supposed to do? Set our minds on things above. So when we are faced with temptations, what should we do?
Put our mind on God.
Put our mind on God. Should we have a plan before we are tempted? Like boundaries, things you will and will not do?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So that when that temptation comes, you have already determined and made up your mind that your boundaries are set. So, let's see. What did I write? We can easily slip into sin. How many of you guys have issues with anger? Yeah. I used to not think that I had children. I used to think I'm pretty docile, but not now. Okay. So I wrote down just a few. I just wrote down a few things that we deal with. Anger, sexual temptations, gossip. Anybody deal with gossip?
Totally.
Anybody deal with somebody that is in their life that is a drama queen, that brings out drama in their life? Hey, listen, shh, listen. These guys that were all in the courts, and they all bowed down, what did they notice about Mordecai? That he didn't what? He didn't bow down. And then what did they do?
They're like, why don't we have to? What do we have to?
No, they went to, did we read that? They went to Haman.
Oh, yeah.
And they were like, hey, guess what? Mordecai's not bowing down. Right? All right, let's read verses 4 through 6. Go ahead. Nice and loud.
Day after day they spoke to him, but he refused to comply. Therefore they told Haman about it to see whether Mordecai's behavior would be tolerated, for he had told them he was a Jew. When Haman saw that Mordecai would not kneel down or pay him honor, he was enraged. Yet having learned who Mordecai's people were, he scorned the idea of killing only Mordecai. Instead, Haman looked for a way to destroy all Mordecai's people, the Jews, through the whole kingdom of Xerxes.
Okay, so the royal officials came and talked to Haman and was like, hey, this guy Mordecai, he's not bowing down. And I'm sure that they knew the discord between the two, the rivalry between the two. So they probably just wanted to see a good show, right? They wanted to see a fight. They wanted to see how that plays out. So if you are one of those people that likes to instigate situations to see, my encouragement to you would be to stop, because you never know what trouble is going to come after. And if you're one of the, okay, have you ever done anything, just raise your hand, you don't have to tell me the story, but I've done it, I'm sure. Have you ever been in a situation where people are looking at you and you say or do something that you would not normally have done if people weren't looking at you or pushing you, so to speak?
Yes.
Peer pressure, yes? Yeah. So Mordecai, can you imagine? I mean, day after day, he's having this pressure of these people coming at him and being like, why aren't you bowing? And, you know, we talked to Haman and all of these things are going on in his life. But yet he took a stand and he stands firm. And so just as an encouragement for you guys, you know, you need to not engage in that silliness. So God's got something better for you. Okay, so we found out that, so Haman finds out, confronts Mordecai, and now what has happened? The man is mad. He's not just going to kill Mordecai. What is he going to do?
Kill the Jews.
He is going to kill all the Jews. Now that is kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, he's a few fries short of a Happy Meal. I mean, he is bordering insanity. Yes.
My Bible actually says Holocaust. And
Yeah. Good. Cool. Good. Yeah. So, again, I'm sorry, guys. My head, I'm just, whoa.
Hang in there, Gary. Hang in there.
Okay, so Haman was just pure evil, right? I mean, what I see is possessed by Satan, because I don't know, just like I feel Hitler was possessed by Satan, because who in their right mind would kill off an entire race just because one person wouldn't bow? I mean, that's just insanity to me. Do what?
That's not why Hitler
That's not why Hitler did it.
Why did Hitler do it?
Hitler just believed in
Jews. He just happened to strike with one person.
he just
Right,
believed-
okay, so even worse.
He just,
You know what I'm saying?
He just believed Germans
Like,
were better, so
I believe-
everybody else should die.
No, not just Germans.
Okay, well, this isn't about Hitler,
The firm.
but, okay, we're getting off track. Okay. So, I'm quick to get angry, but I'm also quick to just let it go. Like, okay, moving forward, that's in the past. But Haman was one of those people that just, do you have anybody in your life that just does not let go of the anger? You don't have to. That's you? Listen, girl, you need to pray about that. Because it winds up burning the innocent people around you. All right, let's read, who wants to read Esther 7, just one verse? Thank you, my friend.
In the 12th year of King Xerxes, in the first month, the month of Nisan, the pure was cast in the presence of Haman to set the day and month, and the lot fell on the 12th month, the month of Adar.
Okay, does that make any sense to anyone?
No.
Okay,
When, it's December.
listen. Casting lots is like playing tarot cards. Okay, or what are they called? Tarot. See, I don't even know. Like, so tarot.
Pharaoh.
Whatever. Those cards with the faces and the people plan it all and they tell you, oh, you're going to get married and live happily ever after. Or there's like death coming your way. Okay?
Yeah.
So he's playing this game to see when is the best time to execute his plan. Okay? So I want you to see in just a few verses, I'm going to get really excited. And I need you all to get excited with me. Because it is amazing what happens, and I didn't even know it. And so I was super excited to learn it, okay? So when I like give you the thumbs up, like everybody sit up in their chairs and like be really excited, okay? Okay? Okay. All right. Oh, head. Okay. So he used the dice to to come up with the best time to go to approach the king, and then when he wanted to take care of this, because he thought the gods would align this horrific thing for him. But in his eyes, it was the most beautiful thing that could happen. Okay? So let's read verses 8 and 9. Anyone want to read for me verses 8 and 9? Sure.
Okay. Then Haman said to King Ahasuerus, "There is a certain people scattered and dispersed among the people in all the provinces of your kingdom. Their laws are different from all other peoples, and they do not keep the king's laws. Therefore, it is not fitting for the king to let them remain. If it pleases the king, let a decree be written that they be destroyed, and I will pay 10,000 talents of silver into the hands of those who do the work, to bring it into the king's treasuries."
Okay. When I was reading that, it kind of reminded me of my kid. I promise if I can have baby chicks, I will do this, and I will do this, and I will do this, and blah, 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 blah. Anyway. Okay, I want you to picture this. So if you need to close your eyes to visualize this, close your eyes, but don't fall asleep on me. Okay? Picture this, that you're with your family, okay? And you're hanging out, TV's on, maybe you guys are watching sports, and an announcer comes on the television and says, "In 11 months to this day, all Christians will be killed in the world. You can't escape it. This is what's going to happen." So, how does this make you feel? Now, let's talk about it. How does this make you feel? Like, put yourself in that position. You have 11 months now to live. If you are a follower of Christ. So how are you feeling at this point?
You said of all the world?
Yeah, there's no escaping it. There's no, like, borders that you can flee. All on the same day, everyone's getting wiped out if you're a Christian.
Okay, then can we go to London?
Go to
We
London?
only have 11 months to live.
So you're going to take your family on a trip. You're going to make the best of it.
I found a loophole.
There's no loophole.
I'm gonna take a rocket and go to Mars. I won't be on this planet.
Okay.
I'm gonna move to Canada.
You will, the world,
You
not
can't
just
find
the
anybody in
United States.
Canada.
You will not escape death. Okay?
Unless
Let's
you
just
go
make
to
that.
Mars.
Please, stay with me. Stay with me, please.
Stay with her.
Okay. So, okay, 6 months has passed, and you're 11 months out. How are you feeling now?
You still got 5 months.
Right? So you're living it up? What are you doing? Going skydiving? All right, how are you feeling? How are you feeling the day before?
All right, it's time to party.
I mean, really try to put yourself in that. I would be a mess. I would be trying to tell everybody that I love them. I'd be trying to reach those that are not. Hey, guys, stop talking, please. If you're not talking about this, listen. Might not be important to you, but it might be important to somebody else that's in the room. So I would request your respect enough to just be quiet. Okay, so I would be talking to everybody that I knew. I'd be saying my goodbyes. I mean, just the thought. So does this sound like psychological warfare?
I don't know what that is.
So you've been told that in 11 months you're going to die. Yes.
Well, I would probably, I'm not like trying to say this bad, but I'd probably take care of it sooner than that so that I wouldn't have to live through this, the long
Speaking of that, how are we gonna die?
stress and,
You'd be murdered.
you know where you're going, so why would you
Like
stress
a
about it?
knife.
Like what way are you trying?
Stabbing you.
You said you're gonna try and persuade people, or not persuade, but you try and get people to like follow Christ in that 11 months. Wouldn't that be like impossible? Yeah, if you follow Christ right now, but you're gonna die soon, so unless
But what is the end result of your death? Where are you going?
you're going to heaven.
You're going to heaven.
People that don't believe, and you're trying to get them to believe,
Right.
and then you gotta tell them that they're gonna die in less than 11 months.
Right, but you could die walking out of the street and getting hit by a bus, right?
Yes. It's gotta be a bus.
A car, a bike. Okay. So I'm just saying, think about the anguish that would go on in their minds if they were going to find out in 11 months that they were all going to be executed. Okay, so that is psychological warfare. Would that not? Sure, maybe month 1 you would kind of forget. I don't know. I would probably remember, but it would weigh heavy on the back of your brain that, hey, I have 11 months to live, and trying to make the best of each day. So, Haman is planning to use psychological warfare. Not only was he going to make the Jews suffer mentally for 11 months, he completely played the king. Okay, so the first thing he said was he referred to the Jews as a certain people. He did not call them out as the Jews because, remember, Mordecai did what last chapter? He saved the
King.
He saved the king. So if Haman was to say, hey, we're going to kill the Jews, he probably would remember, oh, hey, but Mordecai. So he used his words very carefully when he was speaking to the king. I'm going to read some of this because I'm getting off track. The Jews were scattered everywhere, okay? They were completely, there was not enough of them to form a union and to hurt the king in any way, stretch, or form. His kingdom was so vast, and the Jews were so scattered, that wasn't even an issue. But, let's see. So Haman said that the Jews were scattered, but that they were not, let's see. I lost my place. Where are we at? The customs were different from them, and not to tolerate them. Tolerate means to what? To ignore, right? To live with, right? So he doesn't even want them to live with him. Okay? But he also said that the Jews' customs were different from theirs. But you got to remember, back then they were so immersed in the Persian culture that they didn't even know that Esther was a Jew, right? So is that really a valid reason to kill all these people? There was only one person that defied him, right? As far as we know, only one person. But he's going to kill this whole race. Okay? What?
It's kind of there have been examples kind of like that in the Bible with God doing that to serve as a lesson. So maybe he's doing the same thing.
Haman?
Yeah.
Because he hates the Jews?
Yeah.
He's going to kill them all?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Like maybe he's trying to just kind of show everybody else not to step out of line as well.
Right. Because he is the man. Even though the king's the king is like his puppet. He's playing him like his puppet. Okay? And so the king just falls right into suit. He's like, sure. Have we read that yet? Do whatever you want. Okay, so do you guys know that Satan can mess with our minds? He can feed us information that is incorrect? Do you know that he, I guess, would play psychological warfare with us as well? Or that he does? I mean, he can't physically hurt us. He can't, come in and control our minds. But he can shoot arrows at us. And he can, it's like whatever sticks that's what he's going to hone in on. So one of the things this lady said at this conference that I'm going to remember when I'm complaining is that when we are complaining about situations in our life, that is just giving the devil the perfect weapon. Because he's listening to what we're saying, and he's like, oh, she didn't really like that. Okay, well, let's zero in on this. And, oh, that kind of annoyed her, so let's zero in on this. So don't think that he is not out there trying to kill and destroy your life, just as Haman wasn't out. I mean, he's going to kill and destroy the Jews as of this point. So, Does that scare anybody? It's kind of scary. Has anybody ever, I feel like, so instead of, what can we do instead of complaining, or instead of going, oh, woe is me, or
Keep your mouth shut.
you could keep your mouth shut.
Pray.
You could pray, and you can also get into your word, because what fights off Satan? The word, yes. And so if you're struggling in the area, like, okay, most of you guys, I don't know, some of you new ones probably don't know. When I lost my hair last summer, that was a really trying time for me. Like, which I thought I would be a bigger, more spiritual about it, I guess I would say. Like, I don't know if I'd say spiritual. I would be more mature about it and be like, it's just hair, but Satan came in and he kind of attacked my mind as far as like my self-worth and my self-esteem, and so I had to really like get in and find the scriptures again that talked about, I am more than a conqueror through Christ, and my beauty is not in any of that. My strength comes from God, and I had to start citing those scriptures over my life. And so somebody read Philippians 4:8. This is the one that I really just stick with whenever I feel like Satan is kind of just trying to attack me. And he does, and he'll do it when you guys are at your weakest, because he's just evil like that. Go ahead.
4:8.
Yeah.
Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things.
Think on these things. Don't dwell about your situation and your circumstances, the things that aren't going well. Think about those things that are lovely, that are pure. And then what's the verse after that say?
Whatever you have learned or received or heard from me or seen in me, put it into practice, and the God of peace will be with you.
And the God of who?
Peace.
Peace is with you. So when you're thinking about the negative all the time, can God come in and you be peaceful? Not really. I mean, you could try, but it doesn't work. I promise. When I was going through that, I was not very peaceful. And now, okay, so I have several spots now, and I feel like I'm managing it better. If I lose my hair, it's okay. It's just hair. It's going to be fine. But if I don't, I'll be really happy about that too. So, but we have weapons and we need to use them. We don't need to live a defeated life. So if you're struggling with something, I would encourage you to get into His Word and find scriptures that specifically talk about the thing that you're struggling with. And then when those things come in, when those thoughts come into your mind, say the verses out loud. Get a wristband and write the verses on your wrist. And that way you have it so that he can't come in and torture you like that, because he wants us all to be defeated. So that was just a side note. Let's see. Okay, so the king was probably thinking, I can't afford any more embarrassment. Vashti's already disrespected him, right? Okay, during this time, he's had 2 wars that went south, okay, which means he did not win. And then now he had an assassination plot against him in his own kingdom, in his own court of people. And now this thing's going on with the Jews. So he's probably thinking, I don't want any more embarrassment. So, okay, I'm going to listen to Haman. Okay, so this is where we're going to pick up. Let's see. Does someone want to read 10 and 11 for me? Anyone? Jenny, thank you.
So the king took his signet ring from his hand and gave it to Haman the Agagite, son of Hammedatha, the enemy of the Jews. And the king said to Haman, the money is given to you, the people also. Do with them as it seems good to you.
So, what did Haman get?
Everything.
Because he got what?
The king's ring.
He got the king's ring. So basically, he could, whatever he said, he put that seal on, you can't undo it. Okay? So he's just as powerful as the king at this point. I mean, how excited is this man?
Pretty excited.
He's pretty excited, right? Because now he has the power that he wants. He's kind of like Schmeagol in Lord of the Rings, right? And can anybody do the, my precious, whatever, how he does it? There you go. So what? It held all the power, right? Schmeagol? Yeah. That's what I looked like when my hair was falling out.
Yeah, his name is Gold.
Huh?
His name is Gold.
His human, whatever.
Okay, but
Okay, no, his name is Smeagol and we call him Golden.
No, his name was Schmiegel.
okay, I shouldn't have brought up Schmiegel.
Smeagol, it's okay.
Thank you, Schmiegel. I just was trying to get you to relate. Okay, he is like Schmiegel. He wants the power of the ring. Now he's got it. It's worth living for. It's worth killing for. He's got it. Okay, let's read 12 through 15. I want you to pick out, while you're reading, while this person's reading, I want you to think of the 3 words that talk about what he is wanting to do to the Jews. Leah. You got it? Okay,
Do you want me to read it?
I would love for you to read it.
Okay. Oh, you already have it for me. Oh my gosh. Oh, which one though? Okay, thank you. Then the king's scribes were summoned on the 13th day of the first month, and an edict was, according to all that Haman commanded, was written to the king's satraps, and to the governors over all the provinces, and to the officials of all the peoples, to every province in its own script, and every people in its own language. It was written in the name of King Ahasuerus, and sealed with the king's signet ring. You say through 12 or 13?
All the way to 15.
All the way to 15, okay. Letters were sent by couriers to all of the king's provinces with instruction to destroy, to kill, and to annihilate all Jews, young and old, women and children, in one day, the 13th day of the 12th month, which is the month of Adar, and to plunder their goods. A copy of the document was to be issued as a decree in every province by proclamation to all of the peoples to be ready for that day. The couriers went out hurriedly by order of the king, and the decree was issued in Susa, the citadel, and the king and Haman sat down to drink by the city of Susa, but the city of Susa was thrown into confusion.
Okay, so here we go. This is where you guys need to get really excited, okay? Because I got really excited. So Haman, he has the secretaries come in and they make this decree. He puts the seal on it. He delivers it out. Guess what day he delivers it out? No. On Passover. Close, Easter. Passover. What is Passover?
When God
Okay, Passover. Passover.
It's when
We just did it Sunday.
yeah, it was when Moses went in, and then it was the last plague. It's when God had the angel of death come over, and everybody had to get a pure lamb.
And the firstborn would be killed if they didn't have the blood on the door, right? On the doorpost, right? Okay, so they celebrate Passover every year since then, and they go back and they tell about the stories of how God has brought them through all of these miraculous things, okay? So imagine you're sitting with your family, you're having your Passover supper, and you are hearing about these stories about how God has met your needs, has delivered you, has had his hand of protection over you, and you get this letter on the same day that you are doing this,
Oh yeah, you're gonna die.
that you are going to die. Now, how would that make you feel? I mean, of course it would be bad, right?
You'd be like doubting.
But how cool is it that it was on that day, the day that they are supposed to be remembering all that God had done for them, and that how he had brought them through so much. And that's the day that they get the letter saying that they're going to be annihilated. I mean, to me, that's just amazing how God's, he cast lots, right? To figure out what day he was going to send it. He's playing games this whole time. But God in his authority, Satan is never going to win, and we never need to put them as equal. He is always going to be under God's control, okay? So when there's things that have gone on in your life, and there's things that timing-wise you think, oh, this is so weird, just know that God has got you, and he's got you everything under control. And as you will learn it, I don't want to spoil it. I'm not going to go on. So just to leave you with that God always is going to have a way of escape for you if you put your trust and faith in him. So, do what? He always has a plan. And I think that it is very cool that his plan was the same. I mean, Haman was trying to completely destroy them. He knew when Passover was, right? I mean, and to think that they're getting reminded, he's probably thinking, I'm going to destroy your day. And I'm sure it probably did destroy some people's days, right? I mean, of course, getting that kind of news would be horrific. But I'm one of those people that always tries to look for the good. And so that would have given me much courage to know that, hey, well, if God can do this for our ancestors, he can surely deliver us from this crazy man named Haman. And he can do the same for us. There was a time that, has anybody had an experience like that? Where they just knew that God was orchestrating events in their life?
Every day.
Every day,
Every
yeah.
day.
I took care of my grandpa. He had Alzheimer's, and he died. And I was just very broken about it last year. For whatever, it's been a while. I don't know why. It was his 10th anniversary. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know why it bothered me as much as it did that day. But I was just reminiscing and things, and I just got really broken and upset. My grandpa worked for a Roto-Rooter, and sometimes you'll see their trucks out. But anytime that I've ever been sad or stressed or anything like that, if I'm out that day, I always see a Roto-Rooter truck, and I'm like, this is weird. Okay, this is cool. I'll just take it as God just saying, hey, I got you, you know. Well, I was going to the store, and I was really irritated because Lila was just being Lila and taking forever, and I was just getting frustrated. And on my way home, I was still just really emotional about my grandpa. On my way home, guess what I saw? A Roto-Rooter truck, and it was turning. So had Lila not been a mess, I probably wouldn't have been able to, do you know what I'm saying? Like, if I hadn't had to take the time out to do whatever it was I was having to do with her, I would have missed being able to see that little promise that God gives me that everything's going to work out okay. So God's going to give you those promises every day. You guys go through things and you struggle, but if you will just trust in him, he's going to make your plans known. So, are we done? It's 8. Hey, we made it! No. Okay. So, yes, we're so cool. Thank you guys for listening.